This is the Masonic Club. This was kind of the private quarters I showed you earlier on when we went into the blue room, the door knocker. Well, if you left the room, you came up a secret staircase, and you could leave the degree in the blue room, come up to the Masonic Club and play pool, smoke your cigar, whatever you wanted to do, then go back in the meeting down the staircase, and in a sense, you avoided that door knock and the ritual of entering the room. So the Masonic Club served its purposes, give a break from a Mason who wanted to get out of the degree and to come up here, or just to gather here. So it has this beautiful old Brunswick pool table. We have all the cue balls and the regular balls and the cues and everything, which were kept in a rack on the wall. You can see there was scoring overhead. Those wires were removed because they were so low, but the wire came through here that you would move the little markers to give you your score. The lighting in the building was right at that era when electricity was new, and so it was unreliable. And so it was a gas fixture that could be lit with gas, like the old lamps, but it had the new electric bulbs in it too, so it could be used either way. And because a lot of cigars were smoked up here, there's a vent in the ceiling, and you pull the lever and it opens the vent on the roof. Well, the cigar smoke would go out of the building, and then at the end of the day, they would close the vent again. There's the big circular vent, and it still works. I'm standing right under it, and I can see right up into daylight. So that was the vent for the cigar smoke right here. And the pool table would normally be right under those lights, kind of where the camera is right now. And this room would be part of the lodge, the Masonic Club. And you'll notice the stained glass windows. They're all through this building. These were part of the restoration of the building after the fire. Various families who were Masons bought and put their name at the bottom. So you go through it, you'll see some names that are familiar here in Bay City, and all of them have Masonic symbolism on it. And not being a Mason, I really can't tell you what the symbols are. But here's a window that recognizes the 32nd degree Mason, has a 32 between the twin eagles. The typical eye and the triangle is on one of these, and they all were paid for by the families and part of the restoration. Now, this building originally had copper turrets on the roof, and during the fire, those all melted down, and they took some of the copper and reused it as coinage. Souvenir coin, and the word was that what we thought originally was these coins were sold to raise money also, like the stained glass windows, for the restoration after the fire. But we found out later that when the building was rededicated, as many as 10,000 Masons attended the rededication of the building after the fire, and they were all given a coin as a souvenir. And you see those all through town in estate sales and rummage sales and antique stores. You'll find that little coin that says, you know, Masonic Temple of Bay City, Michigan on one side, and shows the exterior of this building. This is a unique building because there were only a couple of Masonic lodges that had this Moorish architecture to them. And on the outside, the terracotta tiles on the walls, these onion turret domes on the ceiling, even the wooden tops of the staircase banisters, all had this kind of Moorish theme. And that was because at that time, as a population, we were really interested in the exotic. So Egypt, we had the Aztec State Theater, same thing. It was exotic, and that's the way they built the buildings, including this one. I think this is a real significant part of the building. It's the only representative of the representation of the Knights Templar, which is where the Masonic Order started. The Knights Templar were after the last crusade. There were only a few of these monk knights recognized by both the Pope and the King, and their job was, after the crusade, protect the pilgrimage of people walking from Europe down to Jerusalem. And they eventually grew to be thousands of Knights Templar and got so powerful because they controlled all the money, that they fell out of favor with the king and the Pope, and were all basically rounded up and executed. The last one to be burned at the stake was Jacques de Molay, and that's why the young men in their education program was called de Molay. It was because Jacques de Molay was the last of the Knights Templar to lose his life when they fell out of favor. And this is the building, this is the window you see from the outside of the building from Madison Avenue when you drive by, because this is situated right above that front entryway door and stairway.